Hi, Nick Swino here. Hope you're having a great day. I just got in from running the Dexter Ann Arbor run. I ran the 10K version, so I just freshly showered. It was cold, it rained the whole time, but I broke 10-minute miles, which for me is pretty good. So I'm happy about that. But what I really wanted to share with you today was an experience I had yesterday when I went over to Skyline High School to register for the event. They had an expo over there, so all the runners that were going over there to register and get their free t-shirt also had to pass by a lot of tables of vendors, people like shoe salesmen, massage people, yoga, exercise, all kinds of stuff, some of which, you'd actually want. You got to think about the fact, though, that when you're going into something like that, if you're a marketer or a salesperson, you want to appeal to the audience who's there. So I had 4 experiences that really hallmark what can be done right and what can be done wrong when you show up at an event and you want to market your business. So I go into Skyline High School, I walk up the stairs to the hallway to walk down to the expo room, and it's lined with long tables where people have their flyers and so forth. And the first table is a guy sitting there with a few pamphlets, nothing else, with his iPhone in his hand, looking down and checking Facebook or whatever he was doing while everybody was walking by. I took a glance at the flyers as I went by, and it was about insurance or something. 2 big failures there that I think we can all see really easily. One is he was selling insurance when most people are going in there and they're looking for things like athletic wear or something related to that race that they're going to run tomorrow. And 2, of course, he had no presence, care, and compassion, as my friend Charlie Caldwell likes to say. Instead, his face was glued to his iPhone, and it was very easy to walk by him and really not care what he was doing. And, there was nobody at his table when I walked in, and there was nobody at his table when I walked out. That should tell you something right there. Okay, so I go into the expo, I sign up, I start walking around looking at all the tents. They make you go all the way back to get your free t-shirt. And one of the things they do in front is they give you a 10% off coupon for one of the running stores there. I needed some shoes for the next day anyway. I've got a lot of trail shoes, but I didn't have anything for pavement. So I was going to pick some up there if I could. So I had my 10% coupon, and I went around looking at various shoes and so forth. So finally, I found some shoes that I kind of liked, and I tried them on, and it was an expo setting, so you try your own shoes on over by the stack of boxes, and then if you like them, you go over to a table, and they swipe you on Square or whatever, and take your money. But as I'm taking the shoes out of the box, there's lots of paper stuffed inside the shoes, as there always is with new shoes, and tissue and things. And so when I went to buy it, I went to the guy at the counter, and I said, do you have someplace you could throw away this paper so I don't have to carry it? And he happened to have a grocery bag in his hand for some reason at that time. He hands it to me and he goes, put it in there. And then he says to me, and then you can take the garbage over to the garbage can on the other side of the room. Well, I don't know. He was trying to make a sale, or maybe he wasn't, but it struck me as a little odd that he did that. Anyway, I set the garbage bag down and I engaged him in the sales process, and I said, hey, I realize you're not XYZ store that issued this coupon, but do you think you could honor that coupon anyway? Since I'm out here at the expo, you guys are trying to sell shoes, it'd be great for your business. And he looks at me and he goes, no, I can't do that. I said, geez, that's too bad. I'd really like to do business with you. And he goes, okay, well, you call my boss and ask him. I found that a little off-putting, but he gets out his phone, dials up his boss, hands me the phone, right? And I get the voicemail. So I hand the phone back to him. I say, hey, I got your voicemail. I'm not going to talk to your boss. And he says, well, I guess then the answer is no. I don't know how that would make you feel. I'll tell you how it made me feel. I said, you know what? I'm going to look around a little bit more. Thanks so much. I left the box of shoes unpurchased on his table, and also the garbage that he wanted me to take across the hall. You get it, right? So anyway, the next stage was I walked 15 feet, maybe 20 feet at the most. There's another shoe vendor right there, also not the 10% guys. But I noticed 2 things right away. One is there's a little bit more activity around that institution, right? That sales booth. And the other thing I noticed was that the very shoes that I was looking at 20 feet over there with the grouchy salesman were $40 cheaper at this booth that I was at now. Well, that made it very easy to decide where I was going to buy. I tried a couple pairs on, got the exact one I wanted, and was delighted to think that I was going to be paying $69 instead of $109 or whatever for the same shoes. So I carried them over to the table where there was a nice lady there, ready to ring me up. And I said, hey, there's 2 generations of these shoes, the 6 and the 7s. Do you know anything about it? And she sort of stared at me and blinked a few times and came up with a really weak answer, but it was pretty clear that she was making things up on the spot. because I don't think she knew the difference. She hinted at some differences typical of one generation of shoe to another, but really didn't wow me as a salesperson. And again, this is an expo for runners, people who are coming to run an event the next day. They're signing up, and I don't know about you, but I think when I send somebody to man a booth at an expo for something I'm selling, I really want them to be able to converse with my target audience, right? People that are into running, people that are into running wear, people that are into fitness, right? And maybe want to dialogue about it a little bit. But clearly she wasn't prepared to do that. She was there to ring up sales, and that was about it. Well, the other thing I noticed, they were $40 cheaper, so I was sold. I bought them anyway, swiped my card, got my receipt, and as I was walking away, I looked around the table and the whole area where I was purchasing things, and I noticed something really remarkable. There was nothing to identify what store that was. Nothing. There was no banner, there was no stickers, there was not a big 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with some magic marker on it. Nothing identified. The only thing was the name of the store on the receipt, which I had stuffed into my pocket. So I walked away from that booth going, well, they've got great prices there. I wonder who they are. And I could, of course, grab the receipt any time and check, but it just struck me as another mistake when you're going to put all the effort into having a booth at an expo like that and bring a lot of product and bring several people who you're paying to be there and not really identify your store strongly, especially when I now know that store will sell me the same shoe that the store across the hall will charge me $40 for and be $40 more for and be grouchy at the same time. So another lesson learned, right? Okay, I'm getting ready to leave. I've walked around there enough. I've done some purchasing. I'm on my way out. I'm in the hallway. I haven't quite gotten to the insurance table yet, right, Mr. iPhone face, but I'm halfway there, and there's these two really nice, smiling people, very outgoing, in bright orange t-shirts, and they say, hey, how's it going? And they were so engaging that I stopped, and I talked to them. I said, hey, how are you doing? And then we started talking. It turns out they're selling some kind of orange fitness. It's a new routine. There's a new place that's opening up in downtown Ann Arbor. And we had a great conversation about what they do. And they said, hey, sign up here. We'll give you a free fitness, come in and do a free class or whatever it was. But the point was they were so engaging. But the other thing was, several things happened immediately thereafter. First of all, they said, hey, we got a couple premiums. If you sign up, we'll give them to you right now. And I don't mean sign up and pay. I mean just, sign up so that they have my email address. And so they wanted to give me a headband, which, sure, fine, or a little carrying bag for my running stuff. But there was a young man and a young lady there, and she didn't have any of the stuff at the time. So she said, hey, I'm going to run back to the booth and grab them for you. Come back. Well, that was really nice. I was already so pleased about their level of engagement, about their presence, care, and compassion, that I said, you know what, I'll walk back with you. So we start walking back, and the next thing you know, there's a guy standing next to me who she seems to know, and it turns out he's the owner of the business. And we start talking, and he's really outgoing, and he's just really interested in what I'm doing, and we walked for 2 minutes and talked about his business, and he asked what I do and about how I work out, and I told him about the martial arts, and it was really interesting. And then we got to the booth. They had a bunch of perks. She gave me not only the headband that I was promised, but the bag and a bunch of other stuff, some stickers, and I was loaded up with stuff to take home to my daughter, which I was really pleased about. And then there was a guy there who I believe is going to be the manager of the new store, and he interacted with me, and we had a great conversation about the synergy between how martial artists often are looking for other ways to stay fit or to heal their joints, right? And so that when you have yoga or Pilates and you have a workout that is separate from martial arts and martial arts, often the same person patronizes all those establishments. And so it would be a great idea in business, as we discussed, just to make sure we know each other so that there's cross referrals and we know what's going on, and maybe we can help one another do business. So it's a really engaging process. Their branding was extremely evident. They had a tent with the orange color and the name on it. They had all their shirts with the orange shirts, just a ton of things related to their theme, right? And then, so great. I'm feeling really good about those guys. I thank him. I've got his business card. I'm going to talk to him later. I'm walking out. I go in the hall. I go past Mr. iPhone face, who's still looking at his iPhone, still not selling anything, his insurance or whatever it was, another marketing failure. And I walk onto the parking lot, and I have to go kind of clear to the end because there's so many people there. And on my way to my car, I see this big utility van, and it is completely wrapped in the same advertising, the banner and the photographs and the phone number of this same orange fitness outfit. And it was just so striking how they hit it on every level, right? Presence, care, and compassion, engaging people. They knew what they were doing. They were smiling. They had great branding. Everybody from the owner of the company to the manager to the employees were all on, right? Firing on all cylinders. And it was just such a great contrast, right? You know, the guy sitting at the table with no brand identification, looking at his iPhone, the folks who wouldn't do any kind of deal with me and moreover wanted me to take their garbage out for them, the folks who did a great job on pricing but a terrible job on branding and identification, then the guys at the end who really hit it on every level. Sorry I've talked so long, but I just thought this was the best 10-minute marketing degree you can get by paying attention to what those folks did, emulating the ones, right? You know, watch what you don't like and don't do it, and watch what you do like and do it. I think it would help anybody in business and really give us all an idea about how we should conduct ourselves when we're trying to interact with the public, interact with others, and get our message across. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a great day. And if you have any comments or anything, please share them with me. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much.